Start now in Eldorado Park, where residents will spend another night in the dark after a transformer tripped and blew up a few hours after being fixed. Freedom Park, Mpumelelo and parts of Devlin are also affected. Johannesburg City Power says it will take at least 7 days to fix the damage, as it needs to remove 40,000 litres of oil from the damaged transformer. The power utility has apologized to customers, but community members aren't happy.
We all hasn't got money for generators and all that, but we are surviving on fire that we make with a wood. So that is all we can do at the moment. And it's now been so long, 6 days, that we were out without lights and everything. And usually we can't even walk in the streets because it's dark. Because we can't even go to the shop also because it's dark. Because we are elderly people, we have to stay indoors. So the problem is this. We have to face ourselves to this situation. It's becoming now pathetic again because, as a matter of fact, we heard another generator blew up.
I know we're all frustrated, yes, having in mind our elderly people, sick people, children that needs to go to work, to school. Yes, basically all of us are affected by what's happening at this point in time.
Oh, I heard from the church that this thing was bombed. So, yes, and when we came home Friday, there was no food. So we had to eat potjiekos from Friday until today. And that's not on. We can't take baths. The kids doesn't even go to school as we speak because they can't wash in cold water because there's bronchitis and it's cold. So what do they expect us to do? Freedom Park got generators the last time, we got nothing. And we can't, and they're shooting and stuff. People are still stealing cables. We can't go out because where we're staying in our area is women-based. So what must we do? The police doesn't patrol, so what do they expect us to do now? Come out at night, they can come in and come rape and do anything they want to now because it's dark.
Meanwhile, Eskom will be easing load shedding to stage 3 from 10 tonight until Friday morning. It comes after the crippled utility implemented stage 4 power cuts earlier yesterday. Eskom CEO Andre de Ruyter confirmed that 6 generation units have been returned to service in the past 24 hours.
The load forecast for this evening is trending upwards because of cooler temperatures and is anticipated to be at about 30,298 with stage 4 load shedding using our virtual power station as well as our reserves. We are able to meet a demand of some 26,756. So if you work on the assumption that there is about 1,000 megawatts per stage of load shedding, you can see that the requirement for stage 4 load shedding, unfortunately, has not yet disappeared. Looking at the prognosis for units coming back during the course of today and also during tonight, we have a chance of reducing load shedding tomorrow to stage 3. We will be communicating with you depending on the performance of the system and how that improves during the night. And we are expecting a number of large units to return during the course of tomorrow, and if those units stay online and if they perform as expected, then we should be able to consider lifting load shedding entirely by the start of the weekend. At this stage, I'm reluctant to give you an exact time, whether it's Friday afternoon or Friday evening after peak, because of the fact that we have this unreliable and unpredictable generation system. Yes. Planned capacity outages that we've got, 5,787. The full load losses still very high at 10,472. Partial load losses sitting at 4,675 for total unplanned outages of 15,147. This is a bit better than it was during yesterday, so we've recovered about 900 odd megawatts, but still not nearly where we need to be in order for us to lift load shedding.
At the same time, persistent load shedding is crippling businesses and the economy. Small to big business owners are also concerned about carrying the cost for alternative power to run their operations. Our business reporter, Tumisang Ndlovu, has the details.
While some big businesses are able to afford generators or solar power during power cuts, that's not the case for smaller business owners. Manager at Asa Cosmetics, Nkosinathi Maseko, explains.
We have acquired a generator. However, versus the profit that we make, it doesn't really balance, because now you have to service it. We all know the price of petrol has went up. So it doesn't really balance when you look at the money that's coming in and the money that you're spending on generator and running it and petrol and so forth. Look, it's devastating. But I do think that if government can try and at least support, small businesses with, off-grid solar energy systems, it would, help a great length, for us to be able to operate even when it's load shedding.
Ntokozo Vilakazi, meanwhile, says she can't afford to be without a generator in her printing business.
Total uphill for us in this industrial area that we're working in. I mean, every neighbor here is a manufacturer of some sort. I can mention the guy next door who does coffee beans, who manufactures coffee beans. I can mention the guy in front who manufactures tires. And basically this whole place is a manufacturing place. And if you saying that you're going to cut 50% of electricity time for manufacturing, it basically cripples the economy, because we as small businesses that are part of the industrial sector are really struggling. There's not much to do in 4 hours when you're manufacturing.
The franchise industry is also feeling the pressure, and Cash Converter CEO Richard Makaiba feels power cuts deplete income that should rather be channeled towards improving the lives of employees.
Yeah, it's not sustainable, long story short. What it does do is increase costs and lower profitability. It causes loss in jobs, it causes losses in opportunities. The franchising industry amounted to something like 14% of GDP. We employ over 300,000 people in the country. And fortunately, with the franchising support network, most of those franchisees have managed to survive through this process. But individual SMEs take a lot of pain in this situation, so the sooner we normalize it, the better.
The effects of load shedding continue to weigh heavy on small as well as big business, and there seems to be no end in sight to the blackouts. For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Tumisang Ndlovu in Johannesburg.